Yo, and I'm on a walk while my potatoes cook, and you know, I want to talk about a few things, 2 or 3 things. Number one is I'm going through a tough time, and the one thing that's helped me is bodybuilding, right? So the commitment to a goal, to a pursuit, is generally one of the greatest things that could have happened to me right now, right? And the pursuit of this goal is exactly what I needed to kind of escape and grow beyond my, I guess, I don't know what to call it, I guess fears or anger, sadness, depression, whatever you want to call it, right? This pursuit that I have of being this, IFBB pro, natural pro, whatever pro comes through doing this. The pursuit of being that professional is exactly what I need to get past this, whatever this is, whatever feelings I feel, whatever dark spot that I'm in right now. There's a goal to pursue becoming a professional bodybuilder, professional, amateur, whatever. I don't care. That's the thing. I do not care what level of bodybuilding that I succumb to, professional, amateur. I just know that I want to put my all into it. And that's exactly what I need to get past this. The gym, the weights, the resistance, the feeling of picking up weight and putting it back down is beautiful, because you can channel your energy, your physical energy, into the weights, right? It's something you can't really do with yoga. It's something you can't really do with, you can kind of do with running. It's actually a pretty good exercise for that as well. You can't really do that with meditation, but meditation's also good, but you can't do one or the other. I feel like you need to do all of it. I feel like you need to meditate, you need to journal, you need to lift weights, you need to put your anger and your emotions, especially the real deep ones that can actually come through and show through other areas of life, through your lifting. That's just, I feel like, number one for someone like me, especially someone that wants to, have the body, have the aesthetics, have the trophies, have this, have that, and actually look the part, right? I've always told myself for a while, I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to train like a bodybuilder. I want to do this. I want to be this. I want to be this. I want to be this, over and over and over. And it's more than just me saying that. It's me doing that, right? It's different whenever you just say what you're gonna be, say what you're gonna do. It's different when you're genuinely doing it, right? So that's exactly the difference that I'm gonna make in my life. I'm not just gonna say it. I'm not just gonna say it. I'm not just gonna manifest it. I'm not just gonna tell the people, I haven't told anyone this ever, because I wasn't genuinely feeling like I was reaching that goal. I genuinely didn't think that I was getting there. But now I'm at a point where I feel like I need it. I feel like I need to get on stage. I feel like I need to get in shape. I feel like I need to put the work in, do the cardio. I wouldn't say distract myself, but I would say put my time into something that will genuinely fulfill me. I think my purpose is something to do with bodybuilding. I think but it's not the bodybuilding itself. It's the ability to inspire and motivate others to do what I will do and what I am doing, right? Shoot, my coworker, I've inspired her to eat healthy, because every single day I come with my meal prep. 3-4 times a week, I come in with chicken and rice and vegetables, chicken and rice and vegetables, chicken and rice and vegetables. And while that is not any, there's nothing novel about that, and it's kind of dumb just eating chicken and rice every single day. But at the end of the day, I did what I came here to do, right? I did what I told myself my purpose was, and what I do believe my purpose is. I've inspired someone to eat healthy. I've inspired someone to be better, do better. And they literally said, straight to me, you've inspired me to eat healthier, but I'm still gonna eat my donuts every once in a while. And you know what? That's perfectly fucking fine. You know what I mean? That's perfectly fine. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to train like me, train as hard as me, eat as strict as me. You don't need to workouts, but at the same time I'm trying to eat cheap, I'm trying to eat clean, blah blah blah. So while I know I don't need to eat that way, I do anyways because that's literally the only benefit towards it, that it's something I really don't care that much, kind of like what I eat. I do want to eat healthy enough, you know what I mean? Don't want to eat nothing too crazy. I eat candy often enough, you know, before workouts or if I need some quick carbs, but like I always know that I'm tracking it. At the end of the day, does it really matter? I don't know. You know what I mean? So there's no real price to pay for it, as long as I know exactly what goes in my body, exactly what it adds towards, which is progression, which is me getting leaner, which is me being in deficit. Same with this walk. I know this walk it's nothing but it's to find clarity, yes, and to do something which will give me some, you know, mental, I guess, some headspace, some mindfulness, you know, going out and just being with nature, you know, on this cool little trail. I kind of want to do this every day. I kind of wish I had the time to do this every day, but I'll get in that position one day, you know. Like my boss, he goes on walks pretty much every day, pretty often, you know, to clear his mind. I'm guessing that whenever he was younger, whatever he went through to be the type of beautiful person he is now, it was a lot, right? So with that in mind, walks are like his go-to to clear his mind, to find mindfulness, to find spatial, you know, I guess just awareness of what's in his head, you know, just to be one with nature, because nature is what we derive from at the end of the day. Not like, you know, physically, but everywhere else, you know. To live according to nature is to live up to the highest regard, you know. So it's our duty, I guess you could say, through growth, to live a life according to nature. At least that's how the Stoics put it, and that's kind of what I thought for years. Because kind of like water is a form of nature, right? And we can't control it, but it is something that we can look up to in an odd way. We can look at the way water flows, and we know that nothing really breaks water. Water just goes around it. Water just goes with the flow, literally, you know, the flow of whatever object it's in, whatever environment it's in. It doesn't ever, you know, crash. If it does, you know what it does? It settles afterwards. So, you know, kind of like if there's a big rock in the way of water, water doesn't stop. It goes around it. You know, that type of thing. So it's kind of like that saying, the obstacle is the way. You know, yeah, that is actually very true. Dang, it's actually, the wind's blowing. I'm trying to make sure that y'all can hear me, but, you know, dang, this actually is tough. The wind's blowing. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I have a lot to say. But anyways, at the end of the day, bodybuilding can be an escape for some people. Not even just bodybuilding, but weightlifting in general, right? People weightlift so that they can, you know, whenever you push yourself to your body to its limits, and you really put all your effort and mental energy, physical energy into lifting, it does something different. It does something that no other endeavor can do, right? So if you find the motivation to bench press 2 to 3 times a week, and you finally reach that PR 225, 2 plates, it's gonna make you feel better than anything else can, because that is an accomplishment that you can nearly keep forever. You bench 225 once, you can do it again and again and again, and even progress to 245, 265, you know, 285, you know, whatever it becomes over time. You can progress to that. Sorry, my hair's, you know, it's the wind. Whatever that is, whatever that becomes over time, as you continue to progress in your training, it's only going to get bigger and better. Like you will only get bigger, stronger, and better at lifting. You're not going to regress. Of course, it gets to a point, obviously, reach your natural limit, but that's not the point. The point is, mentally, physically, you will grow from that endeavor. Me, I want to bring it past that. I want to reach perfection, right? I want to have a body that only everyone can dream of, right? Not a body which, dang, hold on. Not a body which people would look at it and be like, that's okay, or I feel like I could probably get that body. No, I want people to be like, wow, I can only dream of having that body. Wow. And not to impress others. I don't want to impress others, right? You know, when it comes to women and girls, I don't want a body that will impress the opposite sex, right? That's not the point. You know, when it comes to that, you know, I just want a companion which I can share accomplishments with, which will also be my body. My body will be, it is an accomplishment for sure, 100%. And that's the only way I care to see it, right? Yes, it will be something to definitely boast about to some degree, and at some point it's something I can look at and be like, wow, I've worked hard for this, and it'll be something very, very, I guess, it'll take work to not boast about it, you know, once I get into that prime shape, you know. But at the end of the day, it is something to actually boast about, you know. It is something I want to use to inspire and motivate others, like I said. Show others the whole premise of me doing this, and the whole premise that I had since I was in literally 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade is I want to build something which will show others that it's possible. I want to build a bodybuilding physique that people will look at and they'll be like, you know, wow, I can do that. They will see me for who I am, you know, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, black, skinny male, whatever, scholar, great person, positive person, all the energy, everything that you can possibly see in who I am. I would want you to look at that and be like, wow, if you can do it, I can do it. That's the type of energy I want to come off with. You know what I mean? That's exactly the type of energy I want to come off with. Nothing more, nothing less. Well, everything more, but nothing less than that. You know, I don't want you to see me be like, oh, he's someone that boasts a lot, or oh, he just shows off his body because he thinks he looks good. Oh, he just shows off his body, you know, he has this, he has that. You know, all the girls are like, no, that's not the point. The point isn't to show you how many girls I can get, or the size of my biceps, or the size of my waist, or you know, because my waist is gonna get snatched for sure. You know what I mean? It's gonna get to that point. I remember how lean I was in high school, and I'm gonna attain that leanness and just a little bit more, you know, in the next 2 months. You know, I'm already nearing, I was 17, I'm nearing 16% body fat. Then when I'm nearing 16, I'm gonna be nearing 15% body fat. When I'm 15, I'm gonna be nearing 14. You know what I mean? It's just gonna go down and down and down as I continue on this journey. You know, it's gonna be real sick, man. I genuinely can't wait for this journey. One, because I'm in a deep, I guess, how do I explain it? I'm in a dark place, I guess you could say. Nothing super crazy, but it's definitely one where a lot of the thoughts I get are not really positive. I have to kind of like pull that out of myself, especially when I talk to others and all that. And it took my job, or I guess my employment, to help me with that. Because my job, I work as a coach at a functional fitness gym that has to do with aging adults, right? And at this job, you're required to sorry. At this job, you're kind of required to, you know, introduce yourself to people. You know, you're required to introduce yourself. You're required to, you know, talk to everyone. And not only are you required, but the environment pushes you to do it because everyone else around you does, right? So, you know, let me check the time real quick. All right, I gotta start walking back in about, actually, walking back now. Oh, it's left. All right, I got like 3 minutes on this already. Anyways, so this environment pushes you to interact with others, especially, and it's different because they're older adults, right? So these people, they could sometimes be lonely, or You can have these really tough and really bad health conditions. And the beautiful thing is, you're doing nothing but positive things by speaking to them, talking to them, you know, sharing your life and them sharing their life with yours. And it's just a beautiful thing to see, like my boss, for example, how he interacts with everyone, and I guess exactly what place it takes them. It takes them to basically their happy place, a positive place, every single day, with the music to the workouts, to the motivation we give them. Every single thing that has to do with their lives and ours is positive. The environment is extremely positive. So I don't know why I said positive. I don't know why I say it like that, sorry. I remember talking to my friend, and I started getting into this preachy type of manner. He's like, this is why people think that you're white, you know. This is why you're so-and-so thought you were white. I'm like, okay, alrighty. I can't help it. It's just the way, it's because I got that from Callum. No, not Callum. What's his name? Wesley Vissers. I used to watch Wesley Vissers religiously, and he talks like that, like he has an accent. I think he's some kind of German, and it's like that. Let's see where we got myself like that. He's some kind of German though, so that got me I guess talking like him. I don't know why, I can't even explain it, but anyways, like I said, hold on. So, like I said, that got me to be a more positive person, because I realized there's times where I can't just be down. Not only because my job requires it, but because it would be useless. It would be wasted energy. Like if I am to, I guess, be in my feelings all the time, and I'm talking to, you know, my clients or whatever, and I'm just, as you can see, showing my emotion through my words, showing my emotion through my actions, I would be doing the world wrong. When I can choose exactly how I interact with the world in a positive manner. So basically, rather than choosing to be sad, I can choose to be happy. I can choose to find the positivity in all of these things, no matter what. You know what I mean? And that is a fact. So that's exactly what I would do, exactly how I'm going to approach things, because I have to. Same with bodybuilding, you know, I'm going to use it as my fuel, and I'm going to use my emotions to fuel my physique, my lifting, my discipline, my motivation, my dedication to the sport, you know, because like I said, if I want to motivate, inspire, and enthuse others, it's going to be a choice. I can't just expect to wake up every day and everyone's inspired by me. No, I have to make that choice. You know, I'm going to have to do the things that, you know, God put me on earth to do every single day, to wake up and become that person. And it'll be a process, you know what I mean? Nothing less, nothing more. Just a process, you know. And like I say, if you want to be like someone, do what they do. You know, so if I want to be like Wesley Vissers or Callum Von Moger or Chris Bumstead or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Steve Reeves or Tom Platz or Chris Cormier or let me just keep naming just to show my knowledge. Any of those you know, bodybuilders or athletes or whoever, then it is very important that I, you know, do exactly what they do. You know, live as if I was them. You know. Because what they have done in their habits is exactly what made them who they are. The discipline makes, you know, the discipline that Chris Bumstead had made him who he is. His ideologies made him who he is. All that. His discipline, his training methods, the way he trained. I mean, you can also say the steroids he took. If I were to do the exact same thing, I would become a form of him. I wouldn't become him. I wouldn't become as great as him because of genetics, but taking his discipline, taking his diet methodology, doing everything that he does on a daily basis, and putting in the same amount of effort, the same habits and all that will make me a form of Chris Bumstead, a form of Arnold, a form of Tom Plants, and I will become my own bodybuilder with that discipline every single day. You know what I mean? And another thing is, bodybuilding is a sport which takes daily practice and dedication. You can't become a bodybuilder in 1 month, in 1 day, in 2 months, 3 months, in 4 months. No, it takes literally every single day of your life for you to, do the training. Not only the training, but to diet every single day, drink enough water every single day, and then also once once it's peak week, right, once you need to show your best physique and show off exactly what you've been working hard for, is also important for you to punish yourself, right? It is hard, it is grueling, you will have zero energy. I can't. The bad thing is I can't wait to feel that, but at the same time I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see the exact physique that I have whenever it's peak week, or I'm basically in that stage where my physique is just beautiful, lean, like 9%, even 8%. I can't wait to see that, but at the same time I know that it's gonna be bad. Like they say, it's gonna be hell. I'm gonna be tired, I'm gonna be just starving, but the thing is, at the same time, it's gonna be exactly what I wanted, exactly what I needed, or it'll be a point of reflection where I'm gonna look and I'm gonna be like, I'm not ready, let me go back up to 10%, let me cruise there, and let me optimize my hormones, and let me just see how much muscle I can build in the next few months, and then do it again. You know what I mean? That's what it's gonna take. That's my goal, to reach 10%, see how I look. I'm gonna look sick. Reach 8%, see how I look. Do it like I'm doing like a mock peak week. If I don't look good, I'm gonna go back up to 10%, cruise at 10, lean bulk. Don't gain any fat, just stay at 10%. See how much muscle I can build. From there, see exactly what I can do from there, right? My goal isn't to go straight into competition, because there's a chance I might not even be ready, and I don't want to, Then at the same time though, I told myself, if I go to compete in a bodybuilding competition, I don't care to win. I don't care to win, I don't care to lose, I just want to try it. I just want to see exactly how I feel. I want to be up on stage. I want to feel the emotions of being on stage, seeing everyone looking at me, seeing my body. And I want to see, other people looking at me, and I just want to feel the presence, the stage presence, you know what I mean? The thing that everyone talks about, What does it say? Defy Donald. So, there's going to be a stage presence that I'm going to have, that I'm going to obtain and attain in that moment. It's going to change my life. It's different, whenever you see everyone else compete. Like Max, for example, she competed in track, and she was a very avid track runner. Told her, you have all these accomplishments, all these trophies and medals, and it's kind of sad to talk about it, because like I said, there's a reason I'm doing this, and I've never felt that before. I never won anything in my life like that, and I told her it's my turn. That's what I'm saying. I want the stage, but I want to feel it. I want to feel the way it is on stage. I want to have a trophy or medal, something that'll show that I went on stage and I did it, and that I just want to be on stage. I want to have the credential of telling people I am a bodybuilder because I competed, and then I want to come back the next year and improve, and then just go from there, and then hopefully shoot for pro. You know what I mean? That's the goal, shoot for pro. Any pro card that I can get, any even if it's the Natural Federation, I don't really care, as long as I get something in return, That's it. It's me working for it, winning, and then, you know, I can move to the point to where I do win. You know, because I can't expect myself to win the first time I compete. Unless I hire a coach, you know, like I told myself I'm going to do it myself for the first time. See how good I can do, see how bad I can do, whatever. You know, I just want to try it. You know what I mean? And, you know, I do have matches, exercise science. You know, all that. Hypertrophy as well. It's a whole other thing. It's naturally obtain a physique similar to mine, or better, probably better. A lot of people actually they're able to build more muscle than me, maintain more muscle than me while losing fat. This is a way of things. Me, I'm already starting to slowly losing muscle through me not working more. Yeah, something along those lines. But like I said, just inspire. Having the best genetics, that's the main thing I know. I'm not stupid, I'm not naive to my potential. My potential is always going to be through the roof, always going to be amazing. I'm just going to have the greatest potential, always going to have this beautiful, beautiful potential. My genetics, just watching that sense of my intelligence and just my ability to keep fighting, just my ability to push myself and motivate myself and be disciplined 24/7. You know, I don't have any mental disorders, you know, I don't have any injuries, nothing. I mean, I kind of do, but the thing is, my potential's through the roof. There's nothing stopping me from being great, essentially my point. Nothing at all. There's no mental barrier, there's no physical barrier, nothing. Now, physically, yes, I don't have these crazy genetics that'll make me, you know, I won't be Ronnie Coleman. That's for sure. I won't be a Tom Platz. I won't be a, what's the other guy? Oh, Larry Scott with his arms, or the other guy with his arms, I forgot his name. Australian guy with a bunch of tats, I forgot his name. I'm no Arnold. I'm no Steve Reeves. I'm none of those people, but I am Don. I am London. I'm someone who perseveres, you know? I've recently lost something I never thought in my life that I would lose. There's a chance I may never get it back again, right? There's a big chance actually. But you know what? Knowing who I am, knowing how I was raised, and knowing the potential that I have, and you know, just everything about me, you know, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop here and just stop the improvement, stop the mission, stop my education. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna push even harder because of this. You know what I mean? Because it just goes to show that no matter what, if I am to continue on doing what I'm doing, okay, so you didn't have your thingy on. Okay, no signal. Okay, no signal. I know you can read my lips, and I said no signal, and then you still don't turn that mug on. There's a girl across the street, you know, a car, and it, you know, no signal, right? And there's a dude who was behind me, and I look, and I'm just like, all right, they're gonna go straight. They turn, no signal. Like, dude, use your brain, bro. But whatever. But like I said, at the end of the day, what was I gonna say? Oh, I'm not gonna be those, you know, genetic anomalies, but I will be great still. And like I said, I know that I lost something of mine left. You know what I mean? There's like, you know, space inside of my soul that needs time to regrow or reheal or, you know, whatever. And the thing is, I'm gonna work for it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in a month. It's not gonna happen in 2. It's not gonna happen in 3. But all I know is I create my own reality. I am the one to tell myself I will be okay. I will move past this. I will get past this. This is nothing. This is fuel. This is my time to improve. This is my time to do what I told myself I was going to do. Compete. Get my master's degree. Get good grades. Get the job. Get the, everything. The thing is, none of those things actually matter that much to me. What matters more is my purpose and what I love. I'm going to say this real quick and I'm going to hang up, is love, motivating others, doing my best in what I want to do. That's it. So hopefully that gives you a little something to think about, a little something to dwell over. Hopefully you loved it. I know I loved it. I enjoyed it. But I'll talk to y'all guys later. Peace.